Students, today we will be discussing about data mining. As we all know, data mining is a process where we are extracting hidden information from large amount of data sources. So under its various methods, classification is one of them, where we are it is used to classify data into different categories. As databases are, we have already said that databases are rich source of information that can be used for intelligent decision making. So under its different methods, classification and prediction are basically two forms of data analysis that can be used to extract models describing important data classes or to predict the future trends. They help us to provide a better understanding of data at large. Classification basically help us to predict the categorical labels of the data when they are discrete and unordered, and on the other hand the prediction help us to deal with the contiguous values, so it helps us to predict the future trends. Moving further, the and making considering two or three examples about classification. Here the first example says a bank loan officer needs to analyze his or her data in order to whether a particular loan applicant who applies for a loan, it is safe to give him or her loan, or it will be a risky. So I want to categorize the form or classify the forms or group the forms into two different categories. One is safe and other is risky, so I can use the classification. Next is example where a marketing manager of an all electronic store needs to analyze the data whether the customer who are coming to their shops are going to buy the computer or not. And similarly, in the medical research also, we are doctors or researchers are using the classification techniques to analyze, depending upon the characteristics or depending upon the data of a particular disease, whether a particular treatment is can be given to a particular patient or not. As in the example, we says if a medical researcher wants to analyze in the case of breast cancer data in order to predict which of the treatment is going to be safe or can be received by a particular patient. So on all these examples, data analysis task of classification has been applied, where in the case of bank loans we are grouping the forms into safe or the risky category. In the marketing example, we are deciding finding out whether the person is going to buy a computer or not. And similarly, in the case of medical, we are have to decide whether treatment A, B or C is to be given to the particular patient. Now here one thing is to be noticed is that there is no particular order in these categories or the labels. So moving on further, how classification works. So classification is a basically two-step process. It is being done in two phases. One is known as the training phase, where we are using training data, as you can see here, and the second is the model implementation or testing phase, where we are using the rules which are being already defined upon the test data. So moving on first to the training stage, where we have the data name, moving back, name, age and income. So on this the loans have been given, whether loan decisions are there whether it is going to be risky or safe. So based upon these training data, a classification algorithm has been devised which give us some rules, whether like if age is equal to young, or then the loan decision is risky and so on. So based upon the rules or the model defined, we can apply these rules on the test data where the class labels are not defined, and then we can use the data, these rules along with the test data to classify into whether it will be risky or safe to be given. So in the first step, whatever we have discussed, in the first step a classifier is built describing a predetermined set of data, classes or concept, and this is a learning step or the training phase, where the classification algorithm is built and the classifier by analyzing the learning form of a training step made up of database tuples and their associated class labels. Basically a tuple is nothing but it is a collection of n-dimensional attribute vectors, where for example a particular employee can have attributes like employee name, address, age, date of birth, department he is working, salary and so on. So these are the various ways. So a particular tuple is made up of different attributes, and these are the measurements which are being used to define a particular tuple. So each tuple X is assumed to belong to a particular predefined class as determined by the database attribute, which is known as the class label. So the class label attribute is discrete value and it is unordered in the case of classification. It is a categorical in that each value serves as a category or class, as we have seen in our previous examples. The categories are yes or no and so on. So the individual tuple making up the training set are referred to as training tuples and are selected from the database, which is we are using for the purpose of analysis. So in the context of classification, these tuples which we are using for training the model are known as samples, examples, data points, or the objects. Now, because the class labels of each training tuple is provided, this step is particularly known as supervised learning step or a learning stage. Now, this is classification is also comes under the category of supervised learning because the rules are already defined on which the model has to be prepared. So this first step of classification process can be viewed as a mapping or a function where y is equal to fx. That means we are going to get the value of y when we apply some function on the value of x. So that means that can be predicted. We can predict the associated label of a given tuple x by the application of some function f. So the rules that can be used to categorize future data tuples as well as provide deeper insight into database consents. They are provide a compressed representation of the data. So next we say how exactly whatever the classification is giving us as labels or categorizing it label, whether the loan is risky or it is safe to give a particular loan or treatment A or B or C is going to be suited. Now how accurate it is. So the second step of the model that is used for classification is to test the accuracy or to test the model. So first the predictive accuracy of classifier is estimated. Now if we are using same data for testing as we have used in the case of the training, so the estimate would be very optimistic because the training and the testing data sets are the same, so it is going to overfit the model. So therefore we need to use a test set that is made up of some test particular tuples and their associated class labels, but this data is going to be similar to that of the training data but not same data. The rows are tuples are to be different but the attributes can be same. So these tuples are randomly selected from the general data set and they are independent of the training tuples, meaning that they are not used to construct the classifier. So moving further, so the accuracy of classifier on a given test set is the percentage of test set tuples that are correctly classified. So if I am using around say 10 tuples, for just this is an hypothetical example, I am using 10 tuples to test a particular model, and out of those 10 tuples 8 are correctly classified. So that means that the classifier has an 80% of accuracy because 2 are wrongly or incorrectly classified. So the associated class labels of each test tuple is compared with the learned classifier class prediction for the tuple. So if the accuracy of classifier is considered acceptable, the classifier can be used to classify for the future data tuples or for the class labels that are not known. So there are also some issues which are come under regarding the classification and predictions. So we will be discussing about the classification algorithms in detail in our later classes. First we will be considering the fundamentals. So moving on to the issues of regarding these. So preparing of the data for classification and prediction is one of the thing. So there are various pre-processing steps which are required and are maybe applied to data, which helps to improve the accuracy, efficiency and scalability of the classification or prediction process. So this is the data cleaning. Data cleaning means when we are trying to remove the noise or error from the data. Then relevance analysis deals with there are many attributes which are stored in the data warehouse. Now all the attributes are not going to be required for my particular analysis, so I am going to take out only those attributes which are required by me. So that is what is meant by the relevance analysis. So next is the correlation analysis, which can be used to identify whether any two given attributes are statistically related or not. Next is the data irrelevant attributes, as we have talked to. There is a process of attribute selection where we are going to extract the relevant attribute and we remove the data attributes which are not required. And last is the data transformations and the reduction, where we are transforming the data or converting the data into the required format for which is required to be used for the purpose of analysis. And reduction means where we are reducing the data by removing the records which are noisy, or we are removing missing putting or extracting only the relevant attributes which are required by us. So today there are different algorithms under the classifications like decision tree, naive Bayesian, support vector machines, nearest neighbor. So today we are only going to discuss about the decision tree induction, and this is one of the most commonly used uh, classification algorithms. Now, why it is being used most commonly, I'm just letting you, because it is quite simple and easy to understand by the user. We will discuss it in detail in our coming lectures. So decision tree induction is a learning of a decision tree from the class label training tuple. So a decision tree, what decision tree looks like. So it is a chart like tree structure where there are internal nodes and nodes which are the non-leaf nodes, and these non-leaf node denotes the test on an attribute, and each branch represents an outcome of the test, and each leaf node or the terminal node holds a class label. The topmost node in a tree is the root node, and this is an example of a decision tree where this is the topmost node, then there are the middle nodes, and these are the leaf nodes. So this is a decision tree for the concept of whether the person is going to buy the computer or not. So what is the age? If it is the youth, middle aged, or a senior, then if it is used, whether he is or she is a student, yes or no. If yes, then he is going or she is going to buy the computer. Middle age, he is buy, and if it's senior, then depends upon the credit rating whether they are going to buy the computer or not. So how decision trees are used for classification. So given a tuple X for which associated class label is not known, the attribute value of the tuple are tested against the decision tree. So a path is traced from the root to the leaf node which holds the class for the prediction of the tuple, and decision trees can be easily converted to the classification rules. As here we see, when we are coming record comes, it is comes first comes to the root node. Here we are going to check for the age of the person or the customer who came to the store. Now if the age is young, middle aged, or senior, depending upon if the age is young or it is youth, then we are going to follow this particular, the leftmost part, central, when if the age middle age, on the right path. So moving from the top root node, going through the non-leaf node or the test node, we will be at the end ending at the class label. So this is how the precision tree is being used to classify the data. So why, as I told you initially, that decision tree is one of the most popular classification algorithm which is being used. So why decision tree classifiers are so popular? The construction of decision tree classifier does not require any domain knowledge or parameter setting, and therefore they are appropriate for exploratory knowledge discovery. So decision tree are capable of handling high dimensional data. Doesn't mean there is no restriction like only 2 attributes or 3 attributes are to be there. There can be more than there can be n number of attributes. So the representation of acquired knowledge in the tree from is intuitive and generally easy to assimilate by the humans. They are easy to understand by the human beings, whether they are belong to a computer background or they are not from the computer background. So learning and the classification steps of decision tree induction are simple and fast, and in generally decision tree classifiers provide a very good accuracy. And further, this accuracy, the implementation of decision tree and its accuracy also depends upon the type of data we are going to apply the decision tree on. So the accuracy sometimes is also associated with the type of data. However, as I told you, success full use may depend on the data at the hand, And decision tree induction algorithms have been used for classification in many application areas. The application areas include medicine, manufacturing, production, finances, and so forth. There are many things. And decision trees are the basis of several commercial rule induction systems also. So moving on to further, decision tree during the decision tree construction, attribute selection measures are used to select the attribute that best partition the tuple into distinct classes. Now what are the rules, how we are going to select the best attribute, we will be discussing in detail in the when we will be discussing about the decision tree induction algorithm in detail in our next classes. So when decision trees are built, many of the branches may reflect noise or outliers in the training data. So sometimes the tree is grows very much. The size of tree becomes very large. So we need to identify some of the branches which are not required or they are irrelevant and remove those branches. So when we are removing the branches from the tree which are not relevant, that particular process is known as tree pruning. Tree pruning attempts to identify and remove such branches with the goal of improving the classification accuracy on the unseen data. So tree pruning is basically of two types. One is the pre-pruning and other is the post-pruning. Now pre-pruning is a step is when the branches are removed while we are constructing the decision tree, and as the name suggests, post pruning, when we once we construct the entire tree and then we are removing the branches. So all these things about in detail the detailed algorithm, decision tree algorithm, how we are going to select the attributes, how pre pruning and post pruning is applied, we will be discussing in our next lecture. So these are